Greetings and welcome to my look at Rambo First Blood Part 2, a film time which came out in 1985 on the Commodore 64 from Ocean Software. Now if we put the box art on the screen, we can see it's a lovely picture of Stallone with his rocket launcher, which is pretty much the same as the movie poster that came out in the cinemas at the same time. So let's have a look at the magazine art that came out, the adverts that were in the mags, and we can have a look at the prices, and we can see that it was £8.95 on the Commodore 64 on Amstrad and £7.95 on the Spectrum. Now, the point of this video is to have a look at the game and the amount of time it can be completed in versus the time it takes to load from tape. It's been often said that it takes longer to load than it does to play and complete, so I'm going to test this theory. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to load the game up and I'm going to keep my mouth shut for 5 minutes so you can listen to the iconic Martin Galway loading theme, which is a seminal piece. It's a very, very well known piece on the Commodore 64. So I'll keep stum. Let's load the game up. I feel I should also add that obviously if you're using the disc version of this game or one of the cracked versions, then obviously the tape loading time not really going to affect you, so the whole outcome of this experiment I'm trying here will be completely different. But for the purposes of this, back in the day when I had my 64, I only had tape, so I didn't get to load it from disc, so it was the full-on tape loading experience for me. So as I said, I am going to keep quiet and until at least the music stops. So enjoy this from Martin Galway. Honestly, it will get there eventually. that is where the music cuts out on the tape loader. If you press stop on the tape, there's a few more notes and a fade out, and then that's it. So we'll let it keep running until we actually get in to the game menu with the high score starts scrolling up. But it used to take a while to load these games, and the thing to remember is, although Rambo can be a relatively short game, it was a single load. So once it was loaded up, it had a very, very arcade feel to it. But going by today's standards with hard drives and that, it does seem to take a long time to load up. So we've got loads of flashy raster bars going on now. And I must admit, looking back, it never seemed to take this long back in the day to load it. I suppose we used to sod off to the kitchen, get a drink or whatever. But even so, it's still sub 6 minutes at the moment. All good stuff. We all like flashing colours. There we are. Right. So, what I'm going to do with this game, I am going to use a trainer to run through it, because I've got a certain route I take that I think's possibly the quickest route while still managing to pick everything up. The reason I'm using a trainer is it's been a long time since I played this game regularly. And it is a difficult game. I mean, it's pretty much arcade difficulty. I mean, the baddies shoot you, your health drops really quickly. And I really, really don't want to spend weeks perfecting a perfect run through for the video. So I am using a trainer. If anyone's got an issue with that, you're more than welcome to leave a comment. But that's the way I intend to do it. So, how am I going to go about it? Well, there are certain points I like to head for in the game, which are, first of all, I like to head for the temple, and I like to try and pick up the machine gun. I don't ever actually use that in the game, but it's still a pickup. After that, I like to head north, as it were. You're only really supposed to use the knife in this game, because the sound attracts the guards, which means more bullets. But I tend to go straight for the explosive arrows, because at least that way you can blow the trees out of the way, and you can blow a hole in the fence, which is through that gap. That grey strip is the river. You blow that fence out and you can get straight into the prison compound. And then from there, I like to head straight towards the guy that's stuck, tied to the cross. Let's call it a cross. Yeah, it's a cross. And then once you've managed to free him, but you have to switch back to the knife, use the space bar to switch between weapons. So you switch back to the knife, free him, and then once I've freed him, what I like to do is I like to switch back to the exploding arrowheads, because then you have to head north and head towards the helicopter. Get straight into the helicopter, and then it will tell you to head back into the base to pick up the POWs. So you head south, get into the base, land on the helipad, you exit the helicopter, it does that automatically, and then you want to make sure you're back on knife again so you can undo the cage. You undo this cage that's here, the POWs exit, they head towards the helicopter, you then head back towards the helicopter, and then it's time to face the Russian gunship. You face the Russian gunship, you head north until you see the helipad back at the base, and then that is the game complete. That's what I'm going to try and do. So let's get a game running, and you can watch the pain of me putting my name in, because this isn't the best of putting your name in before the game jobs, because you can't type it in. It's a move around with a joystick and press fire job. I've had to suffer it, so you can all suffer it as well. So, put my name in. Why on earth am I choosing to put in Panther UK? I know it's the name of my channel, but in arcade games I normally put Cat, C-A-T. See, Cat, Panther, it all ties in, but I don't even know where that started. I think it might have been a CB handle way back in the early 80s, who knows. Anyway, messing about on this very hypersports style thing. Some nice drum beats, obviously. And all the way back round, and then all the way back again. Right, finally, let's put up a timer and let's see how long it takes to complete Rambo on the Commodore 64. So, yeah, you can see we start now. I think for an 85 game, the graphics on this are not too bad. You know, nice overlaid outlines to tidy the sprites up a bit. So we head to the temple, we pick up the machine gun, and then what I do then, using the spacebar, is I switch to the exploding arrowheads and charge forwards until I can find the gap in the fence. Obviously the trainer I'm using here is an infinite health one, because you haven't got lives, you've just got a health bar. We blast through here. Oh, that missed. What the bloody... Right, that's it, that's better. I don't know what happened there, that normally goes first time. So you have to zip through the camp until you find the American POW and free him. So I've switched back to knife here, and there he is, up there. I seem to be going the long way around. I probably could have shaved some seconds off there and there, because I've missed him. That's better. Right, then switch back to the exploding arrowheads, and then blast our way out of the jungle and try and find the helicopter. I really don't like talking over this music, because I think it's a really good piece of music. Kind of a play on the some of the themes from the movie. So we exit the jungle, and there's the helicopter. So we jump on that, and we get told the next part of our mission. And the equipment I'm going to be using is a knife, as otherwise you can't open the cage up. So we fly down south till we find the helipad. It's not a very long way at all. There it is. Jump out and run to that cage. Well, we'll pick the grenades up on the way past, because, you know, another pickup, more points. And we get an iconic piece of music that I am now talking over, to watch the POWs leg it out of the cage to the helicopter. Then after they disappear off the screen, we leg it back to the helicopter as well. And then we get told the next stage of the mission. And I've already selected the rocket launcher, because that's what I'm going to be needing for the next part. Back in the copter. And north it is, all the way. Little bit of adjustment there. Not that I've played this before or anything. Just keep flying north over the landscape. I was always quite impressed with this back in the day, because I like the way the rivers move, and for 1985 I think this is quite a graphically impressive game. I always did think that, you know, the sounds and graphics of this are really good. Here's the Russian copter. We just got to keep blasting him until he buggers off like that. He will come back again for a second go. And that, if I wasn't using the trainer, takes a hell of a lot of energy out of you. We keep going north. Nice brown background, that'll please some of the viewers of my channel. I'll smack that away for the second time, and that should be the last time we see that. There's the helipad, and that is the game complete. Yeah, that's quicker than the loader. And then the game just loops round again. So, it is in fact quicker to complete than it is to load, as you can see from the timers. But only and only when you know what you're doing and where to go. You know, the first time you load that game, you're not going to know where the machine gun is, exactly where the camp is, that there's a gap in the fence you can blow through, that you know where the POW is, the helicopter, and so on and so on. So, is the game worth the asking price at the time? Well, for me personally, I would say yeah, because I had an immense amount of fun with that game. You know, I would have bought that game purely for the Galway soundtrack. You know, I make no bones of that. I've appeared in videos with a couple of friends where we've spoken about that sort of thing. So, I would definitely say it was worth the money. Yes, it is quick to complete once you know what you're doing, and by today's gaming standards, where games can last anywhere from 10 minutes to a million hours, then yeah, it is a short game. But it's the fun factor that counts. You know, the graphics are good, the sound's good, And you know, I still play it occasionally. I mean, that's the first time I've played it all the way through with a trainer for a long time. But it's still a good game. It's still fun. So that pretty much concludes this video. That it is in fact quicker to play Rambo than it is to load it. And as this is my first proper channel video, shall we say, I just got a couple of shout outs. First off, I want to give a shout out to Alan from the Mamemeister channel and Chris from the Lukozer channel for giving me the drive to actually thinking about doing videos and making stuff, and for appearing with them on the videos on Alan's channel. I'd also like to give a shout out to my son, who goes by the handle MetalCity, for his help in editing the videos and stuff like that. I'd like to give a massive thanks to Jeroen Tel for allowing me to have a piece of his music as my channel theme, which was great when he said yes to that. And also, I'd like to say a special mention to all of the patrons of Brian's Bar, a little group I'm in. They know who they are. And I'd like to thank everyone that's taken the time to have a look at this video. Yeah, it's great that we've got a platform where we can put stuff like this. Whether people think this is good, whether they think it's crap, you know, I've enjoyed putting this together and I intend to make quite a few more. So thanks very much and laters.